Coast Nation, Sanwan and Mavici. Welcome back to Football Trends with me, OQB. I have some sort of like breaking news for you guys, and yeah, this is not what we were expecting. For me, I wanted us to talk more, especially about yesterday's game, on how we played, and what I've seen so far. What the team, and obviously everything else, because obviously there's certain things that I just want us to look at in a different angle. But before we get there, I wanted us to just quickly look at the story revealed by the biggest journalist in Africa, Mickey Jr. Now, Mickey Jr. says, so far, if you guys have been following the sports news, we've heard that Stephane Aziz is being loaned out to a different team, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know whether he's being loaned out or he's being sold out, between the two. So right now, as I'm speaking with you, 9 hours ago, actually, Mickey Jr. published this or tweeted this on Twitter, and he said, big reveal of transfers. Stephane Aziz, who currently, was playing with Abu Tim Gosiloj on Wydad Casablanca. He says Aziz was proposed to Kaizer Chiefs during the current window, which managed this January transfer window. Wydad Casablanca were reportedly open to a loan deal until the end of the season, asking for 100,000 USD or less. Kaizer Chiefs, however, felt the fee was too expensive and chose not to continue the negotiations with Mickey Jr. Now, there is a response coming from our scout, which is Terra Maliwa. But before I get there, I want us to quickly look at the whole situation. Remember, we wanted to buy Stephane Aziz while he was still playing for Young Africans, and then we could not be able to get him because of he did not want, to be honest, he did not want to come and join Kaizer Chiefs. So now, with this loan deal of 100,000 USD, which Mangi converter to rands, which is 16 rands, is going to be 1.6 million. So it's not a lot. It is a lot. It's not a lot, but also for a loan deal, I don't think it's bad. A player like Stephane Aziz, I think that is a good price. But also, we have to ask ourselves, why are they now currently deciding to loan him out? Because Bamlandi bafuna umsebenzisa, or is it because the coach wanted to use him as normal? Because now, as I'm speaking with you guys, with Wydad, I did hear rumors that Orlando Mkwena wants to sign Stephane Aziz Amletengal MC Alger. I don't know how true that is, but I did hear of those rumors. And the response, which is something I was not expecting, coming from Utara Maliwa, he says this: I so wish you guys can stop tarnishing our club with bad name. These lies are so unfair to us, and being called by names. If that brings food to your table, you better find something else. I may not gonna keep quiet with those baseless lies. I will defend the club. Ushenege Utera Maliwa. Guys, for me, I've always had my share problems with Mickey Jr. But then again, with this whole situation, if it was very definitely Utera Maliwa speaking, obviously he will need to defend the club, and him doing so means making sure certain information doesn't get leaked. If this is true coming from Mickey Jr., because Mickey Jr., yes, even though sometimes he's not accurate, sometimes he is accurate, and then we tend to think he's lying. You understand? So with this, I don't know how true it is. I don't know how accurate it is. Moguti is a Chiefs, Babafunile, but no, guys, here is a player. Take this player on a loan deal, I think for the remainder of the season or something like that. But then later on, no, no, this is a lie. This never happened. So I think he would have wanted to defend the club, because obviously it's a big name. They need to make sure they protect him rights. There's a lot of things that do tend to happen at Nature Arena. And then when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs themselves, they would deny everything. It's just like deny, 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 deny. So with me, this one, I'm a bit confused. I don't know, but I will try to do some more digging. What happened. But moving on, let's just quickly try to talk about yesterday's game. Guys, yesterday, looking at from the start of things, looking at the lineup and everything. For me, yes, I feel like yesterday we benefited. It was an offside, which obviously I know maybe we can go back and forth with this one, but let's just leave it for Umji Talapana, who's gonna try and reveal everything for us. So for me, yes, we benefited and I'm proud of it. I don't have a problem because last season, the first half of the season, we've had some instances where you won a corner. Remember that goal from Flavio da Silva when we were playing against Test Galaxy? We had, bad things happening, like we felt like, okay, the referee now is playing against us, which obviously we've lost a lot of points. I think about 6 to 9 points as Iluzile, which could have put us in a different place here on the league. So definitely for us benefiting to get maximum points, I don't mind. The only thing that I do mind of is how the senior players like Abu Maccabi Lepo, I couldn't say he's a senior player because of already he does have a lot of experience compared to most of our players who are playing there. Most of them don't even have a CAF experience, but player like Maccabi Lepo does have CAF experience, and he's someone who you can say he's no longer a youngster. He's a player who is obviously in his prime, understand? So a player like Maccabi Lepo doing what he did yesterday, I think I will forgive him. I will understand because obviously he's coming back from an injury. It's been a long time since but I feel like he's not there. He's not there. He's playing, but he's not there, which I feel like is a problem because it sets a bad example for the young stars or for the players who needs to play. But one thing I can say is the young stars proved me wrong, guys. Yesterday, I saw a different kind of football coming from those young stars, and I feel like with how things have been going, I definitely feel like Kaizer Chiefs should be a young stars team because the older ones, the ones that we depend on as Katinasning, they are not there. They do not raise their hands. But the younger ones are the ones that are raising their hands, doing all the work that is needed. So looking at a player like Aiden McCarthy, obviously the goal that he managed to score, which I feel like we benefited, but it's fine. I'm happy about that. I don't have any complaints because 3 points, we deserved it. And then looking at that goal, obviously you can see, but let's just move a step back from the goal. Let's look at, how Momfana has been playing. He's been playing that left back position. And I did say, Uti, on my lineup prediction note, okay, if we play a player like Aiden McCarthy, I know we're going to be exposed, because he's someone who, as a left back, he would want to push up. He would want to do things or make things happen. So the problem is, when we do that, because remember, we're playing a high line. Obviously, when we play a high line, most of the time our players are up front. And then now with Aiden McCarthy, defensively, when it comes to that left back, he's good offensively. I'm happy about him offensively, but defensively, I feel like he is, missing a bit. He doesn't know when to, okay, let's say, for example, let me just quickly track back so that I can be able to cover, but he tends to leave that position wide open. So I feel like if we were playing against a team like Mamelodi Sundowns or Orlando Pirates, we could have been punished severely. So yesterday, even Golden Arrows did have those moments, but unfortunately they were unlucky. So that's something that I was not happy about when I said, okay, with Aiden McCarthy, I know they would want to play him as a left back, which obviously they did, but then we need someone who's going to try and be disciplined. He's good going forward. I don't take anything away from that. Defensively also, when in a corner, he can sort of like try and defend very well. But with what I've said before,
he needs to make sure he disciplines himself so that he can be able to know okay, manje, I need to track back, manje, I need to do this and this and that, which obviously as a player who doesn't have a lot of speed, he's good with the ball retention. Umfana yakhona udlala, uyakhona ukumanager ahlale nalo isikhathi eside. That is good, but also he needs to be smart and make sure he knows when is the right time to be able to track back, or what he needs to do in order to compensate for his speed cycle. Now we see our Pule Modi, which I feel like Modi is sort of like playing mostly as a wing back these days. Yeah, definitely. I feel like Modi is playing as a wing back. Yes, with Magno Cross, it doesn't do much because Cross doesn't overlap as that much, and also he knows when to come back. With Aiden McCarthy, he's sometimes all over the place. It feels like he knows he's playing left back, but sometimes he's playing a center back. He's not too comfortable playing that position as of yet, because it's cutting a thing. I mean, I'm center back, and I would ask myself, how, as he's playing a center back, what is going on with that role? Why are we giving the responsibility to Pulemodi? You understand? So that is something that I feel like we need to adjust. And then Simlungi Seguyo, I'm not saying he should stop, but I feel like he needs to adjust in that. And then moving on, we look at the player like Tulani Tash Mabaso. Guys, I'm happy with this guy. Yes, I still need to see a bit more of him being introduced, because as I've said before, we might be saying we need to sign players against I'm a player as now. So far for me, those youngsters, Tulani Tash Mabaso, Luke Batman, Mfundo Vilagazi, those players have raised their hands and they showed what they're hungry for the game, and they have what it takes to make things happen. The only problem is we have not shown enough confidence on them. We need to show more confidence in terms of those youngsters, because look at how the huge responsibility. As I've said before, I'm happy Kaizer Chiefs they are listening, because they are doing exactly what we said should be done in terms of Mfundo Vilagasi. And sometimes I do feel like even though they're doing what we want, it's kind of a bit bad, because yesterday they wanted to substitute a player, which for me, I did not understand why they wanted to substitute Ndlovu. Unless he said, I want to go out, they wanted to substitute Ndlovu. And Ndlovu was having a beautiful game. He's a player who can make sure, obviously for yesterday's game, I think it was allowing him to make sure he wins us the balls, and also he makes sure he does play those balls forward. But also the coaches decided, okay, we need to change him. For what? It did not make any sense. You understand? So those are the kind of things that I feel like with the proper coach, they can be able to look at the situation and read the situation, not for the sake of it's okay, now we need to change. It doesn't make any sense. So it shows the lack of trust from the coaches to the team, and also it shows they don't have what it takes to say, okay, you guys are just bystanders. You can't tell me as the coach what to do. You understand? So those are kind of situations that I feel like in future they're going to get us in trouble. Yes, yesterday it was fine. They did a good decision after they wanted to substitute a wrong player, but also they need to be able to know what to do and what not to do, and also be able to stand their ground. It's like Tina, we as the fans and our coaches, and that's going to bring a lot of problems for me. That's going to bring a lot of problems. Understand? So yeah, Mfundo Vilagazi, guys, as much as he was given a huge responsibility, I feel like we need to give him that huge responsibility. Give him the last 30-20 minutes of the game. If we can give him at least 4 or 5 games until he starts to get into the rhythm, because so far, Mina, he played as an attacking midfielder, but he did not play much better than Mfundo Vilagazi. And I understand why he needed to be substituted, because as I've said before, Mtutuzi enjoys playing the wing side, and since and it looks like the coaches are not willing to give him that, because it's what he needs. You understand? So Masngamningas on that wing side definitely is going to be able to drive Mtutuzi Shabalala. Look at Mfundo Vilagazi playing this position as an attacking midfielder. Yes, it's still early. Yes, he did not play the whole 90 minutes, but so far I feel like he's comfortable playing that position, because he knows he can come from any side, and also he managed to shoot with his weaker foot, which I can't say a lot about the senior players. When I say senior players, you look at your players like Abopule Modi, he had 2-3 opportunities where he was supposed to take the shot. He did not, or hesitator, and then boom, lost the ball. Again, I don't understand why we lose the ball that cheaply, Pagati. But so far, as I've said, youngsters, they are making sure that whenever they get a chance, they shoot at goal, which you might say they need to calculate. Look at Thulani Tashmabas. He almost had a goal, which it was on target, by the way. First shot that he got in the game, it was straight on target. Unfortunately, obviously, they didn't get more chances. So I think we need to introduce those players much more. We should give Kaizer Chiefs youngsters that much needed confidence. I've been saying this all along with you guys. We might look for players outside Gandhi. We do have a great player in Thulani Touch Mamba. So guys, for me, look, Batman, I'm happy he was playing that right wing position very nicely. So we tend to think maybe Zapa is saying, but so far I feel like we do have a good squad. We just need to find a way to manage it. Yes, it's a headache when it comes to starting 11, especially going up against teams like Abu Golden Arrows. Those teams are always preparing and making sure they know how they're going to play against a team like us. So far, guys, we need to give those youngsters more minutes. We need to make sure that we show them the confidence so that they can be able to surprise us and give us what we need. Because so far, the only problem is Sasenayo, he score. But you've seen the amount of change that was there when we introduced those youngsters. Abu Pule Modi, they did not give us anything. Let's be honest. You look at Makabili Lepo, he was just way off yesterday. And then Kanye Samayo came in. Flavio da Silva, I think he tried. Unfortunately, I feel like Flavio, they don't understand him. The players that play with him don't understand him, and that is a problem. So at least with those youngsters, they do understand each other. Kanye Samayo and I was a bit lost yesterday when he was playing with those youngsters, but I like the fact that he retained the ball much more, and then also he was able to play that ball forward with the passes so that we can be able to penetrate and go straight to the goalkeeper. So yeah, guys, I don't know, but these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think about Stephane Aziz, and then also what do you think about us giving more chances to those youngsters, because I feel like the game is in their hands. They are the ones who are raising their hands. They're showing a lot more character, a lot more consistency so far with them than with the senior team. I don't know, but it's still early. It's still early, guys. We're still left with about 16 games, I believe. So Sizobona after those games, in 4 or 5 games, how far are these boys willing to go? Guys, let's give Thulani Tashmabaso a round of applause. Peace.